What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Racers Place. I'm your host, Chris Newer. It's been a while. I think the last thing we did was at Hammers. So anyway, we're gonna have some awesome guests. We're gonna hopefully have Christopher Polvardi, Alan Ampudia, Ronnie Anderson, Ethan Groom, Cameron Steele, and Phil Blurton. All had great races. Everybody finished. Of course, there were some issues and lots of good stories. Each guy will get about 20 minutes, and yeah, we should have a good time. A couple things I wanted to bring up is, first of all, this is the Racers Place. Please visit theracersplace.com. Would love to get your feedback. I know it's not super active. We're going to make it more active, and let me know who you'd like to see. Any racing segment. We have got a lot of friends out there, and obviously it's towards the end of the year. Everybody's hitting the holidays, but I think next year we're going to be much more active. One of the charities that we try to help out is Atlas Animal Rescue. They can always use your funds. As you know, all the shelters are overcrowded everywhere, so they could use your money. Also, I know that the Atlas Animal Rescue van is always under repair, and Emily over there could sure use some help. And then the other one we support is the Warrior Built Foundation. As everybody knows, there's a Monster Energy affiliation there. It's a great bunch of combat veterans. They race off-road. They have an awesome golf tournament. Nick Ham, who's the director and founder over there, is just a remarkable guy. And the guys he has at that facility, they could always use your support. Then one other thing is I picked up my first sponsor. It's called White Label Canopy. I got my 10x10 super quick. It's beautiful. I really appreciate Matt over there. He's done some graphic work for me in the past, and just does an incredible job. Yeah, so while we're waiting for Christopher, I'll tell you about my Baja. This year I chased. I was part of the Anderson brothers racing team, a small part. My responsibilities were to give RJ and Ronnie their splits at each of our stops. We chased the whole way. It was 18 hours. We were held up by the semi truck that covered the road. We went off-roading in Garrett's utility truck, along with a bunch of other people. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. The whole thing, but I hadn't chased in a really long time, and I think the last 2 times I chased, we DNF'd before halfway. So going the whole 840 miles, and it was really cool. I appreciate it. RJ, he puts everything together himself, and I can tell you for a guy who's a lot of fun to be around, he was pretty stressed there towards the start of the race, and it's just a lot to do. Like, I felt so bad for the guy. It's a lot to do. Some of the guys, like, Phil Blurton, who's joining us later, same thing. He does the logistics. He does all the testing. He does everything. And I think it could wear on you for sure. But we had a great crew, 12 guys, 3 trucks, just leapfrogging each other. So yeah, I think we added it up. After 18 hours, we had done about 5 minutes worth of work. So we had 4 quick fills and 2 re-racks. And yeah, it was pretty flawless run. I'll let Ronnie tell you more about how their race was on the second side. But yeah, I mean, Baja's awesome. I mean, RJ treated us to tacos at 2:30 in the morning and Valley Tea on the way to the finish. And like, is there a better way to finish a race than that? And a Mexican Coke? Like, it was great. And then we beelined it to the border. Yeah, so it was really, really fun. Couldn't thank him enough. I was home by 11:30. We got in the morning. So just a great trip. So just waiting on Christopher to join. Appreciate everybody who's here. Feel free to type in. We got some comments. Let's see what we got. Hello. So yeah, just waiting on Christopher. Let's see if we can get him. Let me check my phone real quick and see what we got going on. Rough start. Late to the start. Oh. Let's see. He's trying to get in. We'll invite him again. Christopher, if you're watching, I'm going to see if I can find you. It might be a different. Oh boy. This is awesome. We'll see what happens. Let me know if you get it. Been having email trouble with the old. Sorry, guys. It's embarrassing. Let's see. We're going to try a different way. And that way is not working either. Dang. Not sure what to do here. Fascinating stuff here, right? Let's see. Oh, there you are.
Yo. Hey, how's it going, sir?
Sorry about that. It was a rough start there.
No worries. I think I was in like an old link because it was just empty. It just said I was the only one there.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Stoked to be here and chat a little.
Yeah, well, this is congrats on the win.
Thank you.
This is a little bit different than what we talked about last year. So
yeah, complete opposite. Last year we went 12 miles. This year we went the full pull, and in the end, where's the first one to the finish. So it was pretty exciting for us. For Bryce and I, it was a good redemption. It was a day with some ups and downs, but overall, it was pretty. For me, it was a pretty surreal moment. I never really thought I'd win a Baja 1000 overall. Like you dream of it, but then when it actually happens, you're like, oh shit, this is pretty hard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So I was thinking about it. You had some really cool stories at the front. So you have, what happened with you last year. You've had Bryce with some health issues this year, which was pretty scary. You have Alan going for the undefeated season. And then you have Toby, who's just an awesome guy and everybody wants to see do well. I mean, it was a really cool, lots of stories. So for you, the redemption, right, was incredible. Tell us about your pre-run, just so everybody knows. Christopher has an awesome YouTube page. He covers a bunch of stuff every day on pre-running, getting stuck, getting tacos, breaking cars, everything. So tell us how your pre-run went.
The pre-run was overall somewhat smooth. I did 2 sessions. First session, just a couple days to get familiar with, and had a big film crew with me, so it made things moving around pretty slow. And then the second one was, before the race, it was overall like we had some UTV problems, had a small little pre-runner problem, got the pre-runner really stuck. But the big thing in our pre-run we were struggling with, we were destroying trailers. We couldn't go a day without wrecking a trailer. we rebuilt one trailer like 4 times, the whole undercarriage out in the field. Whether it was losing axles or stuff. But besides that, me and Mike Kim, it was a similar course to last year, a little bit of differences. So we had already had a lot of notes. So it made pre-running a little more fun. Got to pick up the pace and kind of just get in the groove of things. And yeah, we went pretty hard. I mean, we covered a couple thousand miles throughout the week. So it was good. But overall, I really enjoyed pre-running that part of Baja down on the coast. There's some really good food, beautiful views. So for us, yeah, pre-running was pretty smooth. Besides our commute homes every day, usually got pretty eventful when we were ripping trailers in half.
Yeah, like that's pretty funny. You would think for as much as you've done down there, trailers would be safe.
You would think. I mean, yeah, it's just how it goes. We prep our trailers. We put a lot of time into those too. I think that's one thing a lot of people don't think about. Like, yeah, we prep the trailers and stuff, but we just couldn't catch a break, whether it's hitting potholes or just random stuff breaking. So in the end, I'm building another trailer now. But yeah, that's just part of it. Baja. It's the ups and downs. No one thinks about all those different things.
So let me ask, after last year, what was the biggest criticism you heard about? I mean, we all know it was a mechanical, but obviously the keyboard warriors have their way. What was your thought on that?
I mean, I think the big thing was everyone was like, "Oh, he fell under the pressure." It was my first time starting first, all that stuff, and yeah, I mean, coming away from it, there's definitely a lot of pressure. There's a lot of that, but I've been doing this full time for 15 years, so the pressure definitely plays into it. But it's my job. It's what I am adapt. It's what I'm built to adapt and overcome. So that part. But yeah, you can't read the keyboard warriors. That part, it definitely hit hard. I think the big thing for me that hurt me mentally was when I crashed at the Baja 500 again. I crashed 3 corners into the Baja 500 while leading. That one mentally, I'm not going to be honest, I kind of just like wanted to curl up in a ball for a month. I deleted all social media and went to the gym a lot. Got really fit. So that part was good, I guess. But that part was definitely tough because that was 100% my fault. So one of those things it's a little harder to swallow, but at least I knew what it was. And so to come back and kind of prove everyone wrong after those 2 epic fails, it felt good. Not that I have anything to prove to anyone, but the keyboard warriors, the few of them that are out there, it does feel good to little just oof. But overall, I mean, the support in Baja, like, they love the racing, and I'm pretty fortunate a lot of them support me, so it makes me feel pretty it's cool to go down there and see the support in the highs and the lows.
Sure. All right, so let's dig into the race or the qualifying. Was that where you wanted to be? What was your strategy?
That was a hot topic. It was like, where do we qualify? And so it's so hard to predict where you're gonna end up. I was later in the runs. You're watching these guys; they're all sending it pretty hard. Toby goes down, lays down a heater, and then I went out, and I was kind of like, "All right, just got to be smart." For me, every time I've qualified first, I had DNF'd. So that part was definitely like, "Oh, do we do qualify first?" But in the beginning of qualifying, I kind of was off pace for a bit. Was really struggling getting adapted to Bryce's truck. For me, it's a different truck than I normally drive. So then the second half, I knew I was down. So I was like, all right, I got to pick it up a little and try to make sure at least we're not like 7th or something, and really turned it up enough that it put us on the pole. So it was good. I in the end, I was happy to be up front there, especially with Alan starting right behind me. I really thought Alan, would maybe cruise a little more since he was going to, he had that championship run going, but he didn't. But it did make me feel a little bit better than having Toby jumping down my back, because Toby really had nothing to lose. So, yeah, it was interesting. I don't know. That was my first time ever breaking road. That was my first time ever leading for more than 12 miles.
So that's what I was going to say, because I watched our review last year, and you're like, man, it was going to be an experience. It was a short one, but it was one. So now, all right, you start the race first. Are you trying to check out? What you trying to do?
Yeah, that's the tough. I mean, in theory, like you want to run just enough that you have a nice little buffer gap. So if you do get a flat or have to deal with some issue, you can get ahead of these guys. But the pace is just too gnarly. Every time I pick it up, Alan would match it or even add some. So all day I was just trying to keep Alan out of my back bumper, but also being smart. I was setting the pace. Ultimately, he was going to have a really hard time, near impossible time to drive around me. So that's why I just kept having to remind myself, yes, he's close. It's more than he's closer than what we want, but if you don't make a mistake, he's not going to get around you. And a shorter race, I probably would have sent it a little harder and tried to get a gap on him. But for me, I'm a delivery driver to Bryce, so I just need to keep getting it moving forward. So it was it was intimidating. I'm not going to lie, it was pretty intimidating.
Did you guys lead the whole way? Like no one ever got past you?
No. So right at the end, with about 80 miles to go, Toby got around us. We were having some front diff issues, so I led the entire section, my section.
That's right.
But yeah, Bryce did end up right at the end getting passed for probably like 10 miles, 15 miles, something like that, and then got back around him eventually. So yeah, but for me, yeah, I never let anyone pass. I'd kind of, every time we knew we had a pit, I'd pick up the pace and get enough gap that we could pit, and then they'd, be right behind us again.
Yeah, very cool. Perfect strategy. Did you have any real issues the whole day?
Nope, we never came to a stop besides in the pits. No flat tires. Everything ran pretty smooth. I mean, my only real issue was I smoked a cactus trying to hit a VCP. We didn't have a VCP ping, so we like swung wide to try to make sure it hung. And it was the way the lines worked. I had to go straight through a lot of cactus. So the last, 50, 60 miles of my run, I was dealing with trying to get cactus out of myself and Mike Kim.
Yeah, I would say, how's Mike Kim?
He wasn't stoked, but what can you do? At least he gets a few more moments to like get it out. I was just dealing with it. Like there was a huge cactus just in this arm for 20 miles, and then there was cactus all down this arm till I got on the pavement and had some time to start attempting to pull them out. But there's a lot of them still in there already. Like they break off, so there's really not much you could do unless you want to start slicing your arm open.
Did you run up on some cows? Was that in the race or was that pre-running?
No, yeah, we ran up on some cows. We dealt with a few. We had a really close call with cows. I mean, at the Baja 500, I hit a cow, or the Baja 400, I hit a cow at mile like 20, which that sucked. But we had a close call, luckily. So we were blazing through a kind of a silt bed with a fence line on one edge, and way out in the distance we saw a cow, and Mike said, "Is that a cow?" And right when I went, "Yeah," our helicopter started screaming "cow," and I was like, "Yeah, I see it." But at that same time, a whole herd of cattle ran into the race course directly in front of us. We missed them by a foot or two. Problem was there was a fence line, so then they were running down race course. So we're like on their right behind them, trying to like nudge them out of the way because we're still racing. And then they all finally jumped out, but it was kind of spooky because they were jumping in and out of the trees. So yeah, close call with that. We had a wild horse run in front of us on a speed zone. That was kind of interesting. He came out of nowhere and just like jumped the highway, and we were like, "Oh, hey!" And then we had some coyotes that we deleted, I guess you could say.
Oh,
yeah, man. They jumped right in front of us, and boop, boop, boop. So
yeah, I saw the cows on the Menzies, their Baja review video on YouTube. It's beautiful. Honestly, I think it's a Red Bull production. It's gorgeous. Like so nice. Like it looks like just a little tool through in your trophy truck, and here's some wildlife and some cows. And
no, I just watched it last night too, and it's pretty cool because I mean, for me, normally we're not getting chased by a big heli like that with a big camera and stuff, and it's cool to see it and how cinematic. And then also you're like, man, some of those shots, I'm like, man, we look like we're going pretty fast there.
Yeah.
We're out running helis and stuff, which it's pretty exciting.
That was very cool. So you get out of the truck. What did you do? Where'd you go?
So I did the start to 4:55 roughly. So did the whole West Coast, down the coast, up through Catavina, dropped Fred's Tractor Trail. And then I did the whole speed zone, which was big speed zone. And then handed it off to Bryce. That point, we had about a minute 40 lead on time, physical time. And so handed off to Bryce. And then from there, he took it to the finish. He had a pretty smooth run going. He put a couple minutes on those guys right away because they had just gotten dark. So we had dark playing to our advantage with that. And then up by the top of La Ventana, started experiencing a clunk, and then down kind of top of El Diablo, San Matias area, we really started to have front diff issues. Eventually, it like failed and was kind of eating itself apart. So it literally felt like as what Bryce kept saying, it feels like it wants to rip itself out of the front end, like the whole front diff wants to rip. And so then Toby got around us because he was cruising at like 80 miles an hour. And then Toby ran out of gas, and then we got to the finish. But at the finish, that truck was like, it was super pissed off, and he couldn't go over 80. So we were really just trying to nurse it in. And we looked at it underneath, and it literally ripped the front diff out of the front. Like the front diff ripped out of the car. So that just shows you how violent when a front diff fails, like it literally will remove itself from the car.
That's crazy, man. So what's your thought when you see Bryce cross the finish line? He's made it. What you thinking?
It was pretty wild. It was hard to like process, to be honest. It was kind of one of those like, is this really happening? I kept going into the tech trailer like, there's no penalties, 100%. And they're like, no. They're like, you got an 18-second speeding penalty, but no one else is close. You're fine. So, yeah, for me, it was just a real moment. It just, I still do this, 5 days later, 6 days later, it's still every morning I wake up and I'm like, dang, we did it. It's one of those things, we put so much work into it. You dream of it. Just a lot of sacrifices. So when it all comes together, you're like, oh, this is pretty surreal.
Pretty awesome. What was the after party or coming home party? What'd you guys do?
That's the kind of thing. It was kind of, we hung at the finish line for a while, took some photos, hung out, hung with the fans a lot, took a lot of photos. And then at that point, it was already 3 a.m. And yeah, we went back to the hotel, and most everyone, by the time I got out of there doing all the press and stuff, everyone had gone to bed. So I had a fan gave me a case of like seltzer tequila things, had one of those with my crew chief out in the parking lot, and then went to bed, slept 2 hours, 3 hours, woke up in the morning and headed home. And we're going to have an after party. Bryce is hosting a party in Vegas, so I'm sure that'll be a lot of fun. But for us, it's one of those things, you're so tired. It's such a long event. You're like, and at 3 a.m., where do you go? Do you go hit the bar? But most bars are closed.
I bet Papa's was open.
Probably, we didn't think to go there.
No,
overall, it was, it was more of a, just taking it all in.
Very cool. What's your plans for 2026? What do we got to look forward to? And also, if you want to promote your YouTube page and your app, which was pretty awesome. I really like that, using it this race.
Yeah, so 2026, I'll be racing 6 times. First one, we'll kick it off, King of the Hammers, which will be, I think it's going to be it's going to be huge. That's all I can say. I've been meetings all day about it, but overall, it's really exciting. A lot going into King of the Hammers for trophy trucks. And then I'll race the full score series, and then the 6th race will be announced eventually too. But yeah, we have our Racing Redefined app and the Pro Desert Racers, all the trophy truck guys coming together. So the app, corrected timing, true tracking, it's the future of off-road racing. So if you don't have it, be sure to download it. And it's going to be pretty exciting for 2026. There's going to be you can view 5 in cars at once on the app while also doing all the tracking, all kinds of cool little features. So the future is very bright. It makes me very excited.
Yeah. Even tracking or chasing RJ and Ronnie, we had your guys in car in our truck, but it was rad. So I'm going to bring in somebody that was chasing you most of the day. I'm going to bring in Alan. And just so everybody knows, he's our champ. Hi, Alan. Welcome to the Racer's Place.
What's up? How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. Not as good as you, but I think we're pretty good. It's an honor to have the race winner and the champ on the screen at the same time. So how is, I mean, Christopher was telling us, he was doing everything he can to, like, every time he picked it up, you picked it up. And so what was your thought chasing that kid around?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we were definitely putting up a good pace, but yeah, I just basically was eating his dust all day. That's all I have to say. I mean, it's so hard to pass. I definitely had a chance at our first pit to do so, to maybe go for it, but I made a silly mistake. I was drinking some water with electrolytes, and I threw it out the front, leaving the pit like an idiot. And obviously, I threw it with the lid facing me, and it just got all over me as I'm going under the bridge of Colonet. And it's a super tight left-hander after you get through it. And I literally couldn't see a thing. I'm trying to grab the rag, and I turned just a fraction too late, and I had already shifted to second. So I went into the fence, and I'm like, oh my God, I had to shut off the truck, get it to neutral, turn it back on, put it in reverse. So I lost, I don't know. You always feel like you lose an eternity, but I definitely lost like 15, 20 seconds there. And then I knew he was pitting obviously at some point. So, but that whole section is super fast. So I just tried to like make up time, but I couldn't. He was running a really strong pace. And when I got to on the speed zone by the water, I literally come over the crest and I see him leaving his pit. And I'm like, oh, dude, there goes like the 15, 20 seconds. And I think they had like a problem with one of the tires too. So there was like a slower pit than usual. So I was like, man, whatever. That was a shot, like I thought that was it. So I was like, okay, just going to hope for a mistake. And, if he does make a mistake, I bet your ass I'm going to be there for it and make sure that I capitalize on it. But him and Mike rode a really smart race, and they did what you're supposed to do running up front, just keep the truck moving. And yeah, just sat behind them, had a good time, just just looking at him in the distance, but nothing else I could do. I even told him later when I saw him, I didn't want to be sitting in his dust going into the silt or like even Fred's tractor trail, because it's really tricky and tight, and there's a lot of boulders. And I knew Toby was on my butt too, so if I made a mistake, like if Christopher made one, I was gonna pass him. I couldn't make one because Toby was gonna be there too. So it was just kind of just picking my fights. It's still early in the race, and we had all San Felipe, and it's about 1,000. So just try to be smart and just smell all the dust all day.
Yeah, actually, thinking about it, you're both in Masons. I know, Christopher, yours was Bryce's, but how similar are the two trucks? Like, do you guys run
the same? I mean, Bryce does have a bigger engine, and their transmission has 6 speeds. But other than that, I mean, I run King Shocks. They run Fox. We both run Baja Designs. We both run Toyos, KMCs. I mean, other than my little ass being so small and their seat is way bigger further from the steering wheel, but other than that, it's literally the same. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, but then I feel tall over Alan, and then you get in Bryce's. I barely can see over the dash. So they have to add a booster seat for me.
I don't think any of those two guys can fit in my truck, because I like running super tight, close to the steering wheel. So I look like an old lady driving a car, just super close to your steering wheel.
No, yeah, it was pretty cool because throughout the day, like I saw him multiple times, like on switchbacks, and I was like, oh my gosh, he is right there. And the helicopters kept reminding me all day, don't screw up. You're like, thanks, I'm not trying to. So they're like, he's closing on you. He's getting close. I'm like, what's close?
I mean, there were some times where the wind would allow it, because a lot of the times the wind blows at you and you're literally just sitting in dust for feels like a minute or two. And then, sometimes you make a turn and then the wind's helping you out. So you can get, I mean, at one point, I think I got pretty close to 15 seconds behind him. So, but then we make a turn and then the wind would blow against me, and then I go back to 40 seconds, and then we're just right there within a minute. I just drive what I could see and what the dust would allow me to. But it was a really fun day, definitely.
Well, that's cool. Well, Christopher, I'm gonna join the champ here all
Am I
by
breaking up?
himself. But
See ya.
thank you for joining us, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, see you boys. Nice
All
work, Alan. You almost got it.
Yeah, we're
Almost
gonna
all
talk some
full.
smack now.
Yeah. I was like, oh, Christopher
I
was
was being
driving.
nice. Now I'm gonna say the real stuff. So
He was so slow. He was blocking me all
yeah,
day.
gosh, she ruined my race. That's why my truck broke. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
All right. See you boys.
All right, later,
Later,
bud.
bro. Congrats.
Hey, Alan.
What's up?
Oh, it was good having you two together. It's always interesting, right? Because he's thinking one thing and you're thinking the other, and you're a minute apart down in Mexico racing the 1,000. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Beautiful.
All right. So as you're chasing him, at some point, like in case people don't know, you are going for the perfect season.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
And
Yeah, sorry. We broke down the point system, and obviously Toby and Paul were the closest ones. And if they won the race, I had to basically get 14th or better. But because of the teams, there was not even 14 of us in our class. So I literally just had to finish, no matter if it was last place or whatever. So for me, it was like, obviously, I'm not going to do anything to mess up both the win and the championship. So I was definitely going to be smart. But I feel like, I've grown into being a fast, consistent, just like know when to pick my fights, especially in 1,000. It's so damn long. And I mean, my plan was just to try to get pole 40 if I could on a mistake or a pit strategy. Like I said, I think I could have gotten them on that first pit, but a mistake on my end definitely took that out the window. But at the end of the day, unless he made a mistake or I pushed for a pass in one of the pits, we're going to be able to make it happen. But I knew it was very small, window to do so with no mistakes, and obviously making a mistake of my own, just totally uncalled for rookie mistake. But after that, I knew that it was just all right. Like, we're just going to keep going. It's still early. We're right where we want to be. We want to keep Toby and Paul behind us. So I definitely don't want to make a mistake of my own. And I knew that after Guatamote, where it was like super rocky wash, I didn't want to take any chances. I definitely took my time through there. And Bryce came out, swinging and put up a couple of minutes. Obviously, him just dealing with bike dust is definitely a lot different than us dealing with his lingering plus the bike dust. So, I definitely knew that Toby was right behind me the whole time. And he actually got by me at my pit, which we did not know when they released me. He was that close. So apologies to Toby for that. But we knew he was going to pit. I still had a good window in front from Bryce. And I knew that, like, after my fourth pit, I think it was at 600, that's when everything opened up. And it was just like the desert, what we run pretty much all year. And then from there in home, from San Matias in, I know it really well. It's my backyard, basically. So I was ready. I was super excited. But definitely Bryce got me worried a little bit because I did not think he was going to be that aggressive, I guess, or just that fast through that. I definitely wanted to pick my time. And when they gave me a split after Guatamote, right after Guatamote wash, it was like 3 minutes. And I was like, holy snap. I was like, he just put over a minute on me. And then I saw the next split not too far later. And then it was like another minute. So it's almost like 4 minutes in physical, 3 minutes corrected time. And I was like, man, this guy is on fire. I was like, damn, he came out the woods. He really wanted to race. He'd been sitting at home watching us race all season. He's like, screw these boys. I'm going to go, teach him how it's done. And I mean, we all know Bryce is a super talented driver and really glad to see him back healthy and racing. And I was like, man, fuck that guy, but when we're in our helmets, I love him all off the when we're not racing, but when we're in it, we all want to beat each other. So I was like, man, I got to turn it up, and I definitely start going and, pushing now that the rock stuff was out of the way. And from there to my pit at 600 for like 80 miles or whatever it was, I was able to bring down like a minute and a half. And yeah, everything was looking great. No mistakes on my part other than that one under the Colonet Bridge. And yeah, we're having a good time. Definitely the body was feeling it. San Felipe got way rougher. But, I was like, okay, we just need to send it home. We got, 4 more hours left. And, the perfect season's right there. We're making up time on Bryce. I was like, okay, I got it. Freaking feeling great. My co-driver Kyle's killing it in the notes. And then that's when it all started going downhill pretty much, and, at the end of the day, we just switched from winning the race to just finishing and bringing it home. So, yeah, that was the tale of the night.
So when I chased for Ronnie and RJ, so I was paying attention to. Okay. I was being super fan. We're chasing and paying attention to our team, but I'm also watching the race, the trophy trucks. At one point, I knew you were close, and then I came back and checked in, and I think you were 4th or 5th by that point. So what ended up slowing you down?
Well, there was a couple of things. As soon as we jumped in the wash at night, because on the highway, we try to limit the lights that we're using just enough to be able to safely keep your truck in the lane. And I think it was maybe like a mile into the dirt. I told Kyle, I was like, hey, turn all the bottom lights. Because usually we just run the top lights when there's absolutely no dust in front of you. And you're going higher speeds so you can get that depth of the top bar. And I was like, hey, turn all the lights. And he's like, dude, all the bottom lights are on. And then I realized, I was like, okay, I made sure and all the bottom lights are on, and it looked like it was half the lights. I was like, oh man, something's not right. And then suddenly they start flashing the bottom bar, which I run a different setup, the original setup still, which is going to change for next year for sure. But the bottom light bar was coming on and off. And we were like, dude, it was fine testing. It was fine. Now it's doing it
now that we actually
need him. Now it's something we need something electrical was going on. And it's definitely not Bob Design's mistake related. Later we found out it was from the rubbing on one of the panels. One of the cables was doing I forget the name in English, but it was hitting one of the tubes, so it was making ground. And it was not going. So when it would move on the whoops, it would turn on and off. So it was just basically going on and off, and it was super annoying. So at one point, I mean, we're still going, no excuse. We're still able to see. And with the top light bar, yes, it was annoying with the dust and stuff, but we were managing, and it was definitely not slowing me down as much. But at one point it did shut off completely. We're going pretty fast. And no, that was the second time. The first time we're way down, early in the night, and we're going pretty fast. The second one was up the goat trail, so we're not going fast at all. But the first time we were going probably 60, 70 miles per hour into a left turn, and then just boom, dark. Oh shit. And we, I just try to slow it down as much as possible, and then, turn the top light bar, and we just turned the top light bar on, and we just left the top light bar on the whole time. And then after 4th pit, we're getting to the top of the San Felipe loop, and we're pushing hard. It's super whooped out. And suddenly after the Ventana access road, when you're getting to the kind of dune part with a lot of whoops to get to the highway access, to the very top part of the San Felipe loop, I start feeling weird, on the steering. And since the morning, it felt kind of off, it was kind of loose. And when we were getting up top, when it was in the rut, and it would get the wheels would turn on their own when in the rut, but I was not steering yet. But then I would feel the wheels would turn enough to where it would make my steering move. So it was I could basically go 11-1. And there was I could go this, and nothing, the truck would be going straight in the rut. So there was a lot of play in the steering, and it just felt weird, weird. I was this ain't gonna hold. I still got, I don't know how many 200 more miles to the finish. This is not gonna last at this pace. And then I was that from there, I called it in, and one of our chase guys with most of our parts was pulling into that highway section, and we made the decision to just stop and assess the situation. And that's when we pulled over. I had already kind of like toned it down on the pace, and I pulled over. That's when Toby got around me at his pit up there, and then my crew chief actually was Pollo was like, "Hey, dude, like we don't have the part. I tried to tighten it up, but it's what we got. So go to the next pit, which is in San Matias, and just cruise it in. Try to like make it so it doesn't hurt it in a lot, and just drive like that's what we got. So
Wow.
so when we get there, we'll switch it the whole the steering box, and so from there, literally, I was like, man, this sucks. Like we just kind of cruised it in and got to the pit, and by the time those things are so tight in space that it took, I don't know, it felt like forever, but the team did a great job, changed the steering box, and then from there in, we were like, we had already lost so much time, and Toby and Bryce were almost at the finish, and we just kind of like cruised in, and that's when the light they try to fix the lights again, and I mean they look great when we went up the goat trail, they were all working normal, so we shut off the top light bar, and then that's when we got a little scared because I was not definitely not expecting that's my voice that you guys heard scream like a little girl, but we did not expect it, and it was just super funny. At that point, me and Kyle, we just knew that we just had to bring it in and not make any stupid mistake and hurt the truck or anything like that. So we just nursed it in, try to have fun, and we're singing and just messing around, just trying to have a good time because definitely my back was feeling it a lot at that point with the adrenaline worn out and being so cold and raining and stuff. So definitely hurting it. I was just trying to like, man, I just want to be home and be in my bed and sleep. So yeah, that was basically what slows us down.
Yeah, that video of you guys when the lights go off and you both start laughing, I just thought was super cool, but really funny. I mean, it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people liked it online, and definitely a fun little clip. And there's a lot of other ones you can probably see in our recap video coming out in a couple of weeks. But yeah, definitely, it sucked. It was a heartbreaker when we stopped up top, and we knew that that was basically it, unless something drastic and they all broke, and then we were be able to nurse it in and win. But so yeah, definitely the competitor in me definitely hurt because last year we were also fighting for the lead with Luke and Tavo, and the Serpentine belt snapped 2 times, and that took us out when we're almost home, a lot closer to home. So it's like another race. We're fighting for the lead. Nothing really we did wrong, and the truck just definitely said no more, and it's a little heartbreaker, but definitely what kept us in good spirits, I guess, was that we're gonna be able to keep the number one plate again another year. It's no easy feat. Definitely how competitive the class has gotten. So yeah, definitely hurt a little bit, but the number one mended my heart.
No, that's super cool. I have a question for you, and sorry if I don't know the story.
No,
So, of course, I went to 5 different pits or whatever. We're all over the place.
yeah.
Man, the amount of pink Ampudia merch you see out there. Where does the pink come from? Is there a reason?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the pink comes because in 2019, our mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So for the 500, she was diagnosed right before the 250, and they didn't tell it, like literally the Wednesday before the race. So like 2 days before the start of the race, they got the email that she was positive for breast cancer, and they didn't tell us after the race. I don't know how they did it. Props to my mom and dad just to try to not get us out of the game or whatever. Just try to, also for them, I think it was more like a distraction, trying not to think about it. But when we got home, that's when they broke it down to both my brothers and I. And man, that was hard, definitely. But thankfully she's okay. She got it diagnosed early on and got, all that stuff. But for the 500, that was the first race that she wasn't able to attend. So for us, it was like, how can we make it to like she's there with us? So we decided to throw in the whole truck pink that race. And then I don't know, a lot of people, you don't really know what like everyone's going through. And then when we put it out and it was out there with the pink ribbon and all that, a lot of people were like, hey, like so cool that you guys are doing that. Like we're going through that, or we lost somebody to cancer and all that. So we were like, wow, it has such a big impact. And if we can somehow, for having pink on our truck, be like, a little message to everybody and more awareness out there into the world. And obviously being so close to us with our mom, it's me, both my brothers and my dad's is she's the queen of the house, the
Yeah.
backbone of the family. So from there on out, we're always going to have pink. And no matter what, always our designs from there on out have always carried pink, and that's how it's going to stay for the rest of the time we're racing for sure.
No, that's super cool. I had a feeling that was it. I didn't know the story though, so I just wanted to get. But honestly, we were off to the side of your first pit, and the amount of pink T-shirts, I was like, fans, people in your pit, wives and girlfriends, and everything. The spec truck that you guys were pitting, like there was all kinds of people everywhere. It was super cool. We were just kind of laughing at like, we saw maybe 2 McMillan shirts and a couple of other teams, but there's 50 pink Ampudia shirts. It was rad.
I mean, yeah, I love the support, and all my fans know it. I definitely take the time, and I think I'm one of the only drivers other drivers do autograph signings and stuff. So I definitely give a lot back because I knew what it was like to be one of those kids back in the day when I was a young kid and just going to the races and watching all your like stars and whenever they took the time to give an autograph or go somewhere where they can give you a poster or whatever. It's always super cool. I know Paul Vordy does it a bunch every race, but I don't know, maybe someday we can get all together and do something cool with all the drivers too, where they all can come out for an hour and sign autographs. So which is pretty cool to get back to the people down there.
That would be pretty spectacular. I want to thank you for joining us. I'm going to bring Ronnie in. Do you know Ronnie Anderson?
Of course I know the Anderson. I go way back. I know those boys.
There, let me pull him in. There we go.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Ronnie? Look at that hair.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm growing it out, dude. I was growing it out for the thousands. Time to cut it now.
Yeah, I think so.
It's got the lettuce going.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sure. You guys did great,
Yep.
No? You guys did. I mean, you guys had a good run, no? From what I saw.
Yeah, fourth place. So not super good, but not super bad either. So
it's better than sixth.
For sure. For sure. You guys had a good run going there before a couple issues, huh?
Yeah, it was all fun until it wasn't. But I mean, at the end of the day, we were able to finish. It got pretty gnarly for you guys with the rain at the end, no? That looked pretty crazy.
Yeah, only maybe like the last 40 minutes. Honestly, we were finishing right as it was rolling in, so we got pretty lucky. It wasn't muddy yet or anything, so we just got kind of just the rain, wetness, but no mud, so we got lucky.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, Alan, I just want to say thank you. Congratulations on your championship. And do you have any big plans for like the Score Series 2026? Anything else?
As far as right now, as we're sitting here, just the Score Series again. Definitely going to try to back up this almost perfect season we just did. But yeah, so far, I mean, I think we're going to go to King of the Hammers and race. I've been racing with my brother in the Can-Am as a co-driver. I'm not very good, but we definitely had a good time every time. And yeah, I think we're going to go out. We love that event. But other than that, for myself, me and Kyle are going to be, taking on the challenge again of the Score Series. And that's about it.
Very cool. All right. Well, if I don't talk to you, have a great Thanksgiving. Happy Merry Christmas. Too. Happy holidays. And all my best to your family. I got to meet everybody, and your family's spectacular. Like everybody's so nice. It. And give the dog Chase a pet for me. He was.
Yeah, I will.
That's
Thank
my
you
boy.
For having me, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Ron Dog? How was your day?
What's going on, buddy? It was good. Day. It was good.
Yeah.
Just another day. Yeah, I think I'm coming down with a little ear infection, which is nice. So.
Oh, no. It's better than some of the other infections that come back from Baja.
Yeah, absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
All right. So I was lucky enough to tag along with your group, and the opening segment of this, I explained what my responsibilities were and how much fun I had. And one of the things I didn't bring
Yep.
up was obviously RJ has a lot on his plate for Baja. Like he takes it all on himself. But I wanted to tell you, watching you, listening to you across the board, like we got down there a couple days early. When you and Cole came over from the other side, like you're definitely a calming element for RJ. And it to me, it kind of showed how much you've matured. Because I remember crazy reckless Ronnie, even though I've never been to the river with you.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
this was kind of a really cool sign for me to watch as old dude, but also on race day on the radio, you guys were like, it was just fun. It was just really fun to be a part of. It wasn't the perfect day. I mean, we'll talk about it. Car wasn't perfect, but yeah, I was just impressed with how you went about your business. Is that, what do you think that is? Is that a maturity? Like, is it, did you
Yeah.
get a talking to? What happened here?
Yeah, I think it's just maturity and understanding, more of how it's down and knowing it's not just, RJ or whatever having to kind of step in and calm it all down because does get really stressful for him, especially at a race like the 1,000, if especially when the steering wasn't going right and whatnot right there the day before the race. So just try to step in, calm down, make sure everyone knows everything's all good, make sure everyone knows it's going to be good for the race, and just make sure that we can get the car and all the guys, you guys, chase vehicles and stuff prepared, ready, and stuff like that. So just trying to keep RJ calm is big because he has so much on his plate, especially down in Mexico, bringing everyone across the border, all the parts, all the cars, all the gas. Is a lot, especially with pre-running. We're down there for a week beforehand, so everything else, kind of gets done while we're not there. And the guys do a great job. Don't get me wrong. And then they bring it, and then there's always last minute stuff that needs to get done. So just I've worked definitely worked hard to be a lot calmer. I used to be fairly reckless even on track and everything like that. So the calmer me is definitely better. So yeah, just maturity, and I think just with older age you see kind of the full picture better. So helps you be a lot more calm and be able to calm everyone else down with.
Do you think that translates to your driving too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you were to put me in a desert car 5 years ago, I would break it probably in the first 30 miles because I was, going too fast or, not even paying attention to how hard I'm going to be on the brakes or how hard I am on the throttle out of the corner. That's just kind of how I used to be. And definitely with age and the more driving I've got under my belt and, the past 5 years or so has definitely helped me calm down. And even desert racing in general, I think has helped me calm down from being a short course guy to now this and learning how to, conserve the car and give information back to your crew and stuff, which still working on it. Me and Cole are still pretty quiet over the radio, but yeah.
Uh-oh, kind of losing you there. So,
You good? Got me?
yeah, gotcha. It's just breaking up just a tad. So you guys, what miles did you pre-run and race?
So me and Cole did mile 450-ish, which is just at the end of the long highway section, all the way to 840, 850. So right around 400 miles.
And how pre-running go? Did you guys have any ridiculous stories? You bury a couple cars, pull some people out. What was the funniest story you and Cole had to share?
Honestly, I don't know if we had anything too crazy go down while pre-running. We shared a house with JD, Danny, and their crew, so we pre-ran together the whole time. He was in the orange Skittle for the factory team, And it was just enjoyable being down with them. Good friends with all of those guys too. So had a good time just pre-running for that week, getting our notes all dialed in. Definitely need to pre-run a little more. I think at night we would get a little bit confused sometimes on some split options and stuff, just because it didn't look as familiar to us during the day, and then switching over to the nighttime was definitely a little bit of a change. So definitely need to pre-run a little bit more at night, but nothing crazy pre-running. Honestly, it was pretty smooth sailing. Other than, yeah, honestly, pretty smooth sailing. Had no issues. Didn't see anyone having any issues. So it's pretty clean week.
All right. So you mentioned the steering issues.
I like the Uncle Ronnie tag too.
Yeah, of course. Got to do something.
Nice.
Yep. No, so I literally thought you guys were kidding because of what happened last year. And then RJ said something about, and I was like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. And he's like, he said something, and I was like, well, is he serious? And then it became serious. So what ended up happening there? Like, was it, well, I'm gonna let you explain it.
Are you talking about just before the race?
Yeah. When all the stress happens.
Yeah. So the car got down there. RJ drove it around a little bit. And when we pre-tested for the 20 miles that we got on the car, the steering was super stiff in the center. So like from 12 o'clock, and about 25 degrees each way was really, really stiff. And we thought it was a brand new car. So the guys took it back, redid all the U-joints and stuff. And they were like, it feels better to us. Brought it down. RJ drove it again once it got down to Baja, and it was still super, super stiff. So I got in contact with some of the guys at Polaris and learned, now that we had switched our car over to a Motec ECU instead of the stock ECU, that it wasn't talking correctly to the power steering unit that's electric. So some back and forth with the guys at Polaris. Very thankful for Grouse and Davo. They helped us out a ton from the Polaris engineering side. Sent over some quick new tunes, I guess you would say, for the steering, so it was able to talk correctly, and that ended up fixing our entire problem. So,
All right. So yeah, so we dropped them off. We filled them up right before the start.
yep.
RJ hops in. What was RJ's strategy getting it to you, and where were you in the race when, like, physically, where were you guys when you got in?
Yeah, so the night before the race, me, Cole, and two other guys headed over to San Felipe to spend the night so we could sleep in a little bit, and then we didn't have to chase the half of the race, so we could be good for the night section. So we were all the way in San Felipe, which is probably around 120 miles away, 150 miles away on the highway. So when Art took off, we were over there. We were just watching the live stream, listening to the radio, listening to everything that was going on. And his strategy, honestly, in the first half is really you got to keep it together. In an 850-mile race, there's, it's basically two Baja 500s together, two Baja 400s combined. So kind of separated into two separate races, but you also can't lose too much time on the leaders because you won't be able to ever get it back. So especially with us starting in the 18th spot, not doing the 400, makes it tougher. He has to deal with so much dust. Cars that are just up to pace enough where you can't quite them by chasing through their dust and getting risky. So that kind of stuff is tough for whoever starts the race, which was RJ and Adam, but they did a really good job. I think they only got one flat, and honestly kept pretty good pace all day long, especially with the clutching that we're keeping the car to low speeds.
All right, and then when you got in, you guys were what, third or fourth on road?
Yeah, third on road. RJ was fourth on the road, and then we actually jumped a car pitting there on the highway right when we got in. So we left third on the road, which was really good. And we ended up getting passed by Sims's car about, I would say, 50-ish miles in. We got passed by Sims's car, and he was setting a really, really good pace. Something that we just quite weren't comfortable with. doing with the new car and everything. It just wasn't quite what me and Cole thought we could get there and do. So he passed us, and we kept pace with him. He kept putting a couple minutes on us here and there, and then ultimately just try to sit and do a smooth, fast pace and not break the car, because seriously, it can be super rough. It's basically whoops for what feels like 250 or 300 miles of our 400. So it's just nonstop hitting whoops, rocks, you name it. It's rough on that side. So just trying to keep the car together. And I probably went a little too slow. Now looking back on it, but it would be tough. It would have been tough to contend for the lead. I think, or what. So
Yeah. So you guys had a new M81 car. Obviously, they've had Doug's building some good stuff out of there. You guys had very minimal testing. And so to finish is one thing. To be a top fiver, great. I think at one point you guys were second or third on, corrected time. And, at the end, I know the car wasn't up to maximum potential quite yet. So I don't know, maybe it's a warning to your competitors that you guys will be coming bigger and better in 2026.
yeah, I hope so. Doug and his guys over there make a really good chassis, and our guys did a really good job finishing it. The prep was awesome. We shot ourselves in the foot a little bit with our clutching, I think, and it just cost us on the high speed side. I think everything else was really, really close to being able to hang with the top guys the whole time. Just like I said, we just kind of shot ourselves in the foot there with the clutching and keeping it to 60 to 70 miles an hour instead of being able to do 100, so just slowly, I think, lost time in those sections. But all in all, it was successful with only 20 miles on the car before even taking it down there to 1,000. It was a good showing, I think, and definitely looking forward to racing that car more.
Yeah. So I just want to say thanks for letting me be part of it. It was, it's always, I'm just just honored to be part of a team. I love coming down and helping out, do what I can, whether it's loading trucks or unloading trucks or cracking a joke or two. But Ethan is here, the winner of your class. I'm going to bring him in. I'm sure you guys know each other, but let's see. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
How
Groom.
we doing, Ronnie? How we doing, Chris? Good to see you guys.
Look at this kid. This is a kid at school right there. Look at that. You got indoor basketball back there.
Oh yeah, we got a dialed setup over here in the dorms.
This kid.
Nice.
Oh my God. So thanks for joining us.
What's going on, buddy? Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys too. It's a good run. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do next year.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, buddy.
That's funny. Well, Mr. Anderson, thanks for joining us. We'll talk soon. If I don't talk to you, have a great Thanksgiving.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Later, Ronnie. Happy
See you guys.
Thanksgiving.
Later, bud.
See you guys.
Look at this grown-up kid right here. Oh, man. Anyway, congrats on the win. That's huge.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a long time in the works. It's been a dream of mine since since we started racing. We start off in short course, and the end goal is always, all right, let's make the step up to desert racing, and we move into the NA class in desert racing. And the next step's, all right, let's go start racing in Baja, get our feet wet in Baja, and then obviously once you get down south into Mexico, there's everyone wants to win the 1,000, and it's the dream there. And to make that come true this year with Caden and the Razor team was pretty special.
How did I know you've done some stuff with Factory Polaris Racing before? How did the pairing of you and Caden come together?
Honestly, there's a lot of shuffling around beforehand, kind of just seeing what drivers could make it, who was going to be a good fit with each other. And I got called up a couple weeks before the race. I was actually down in school studying for a test, and talked to Caden for a little bit, and then talked with the team for a little bit. And we decided the best move to push for a win out of the team was to put me and Caden in the car. And I was super happy with that. Caden's been a good friend of mine. He grew up racing works. I was always a step below him, but I always saw him around at the track. And stepping into desert racing just through some connections, I've got to spend a lot of time with him and his dad, Rob, who's, I don't think we need to say how amazing he is. So getting to kind of learn from them and be kind of a student of their teaching, it's been super cool. And then to team up, it was a blessing. Incredible experience.
Yeah, very, very cool. So, how did your pre-run and what miles were you in for the race?
So I get to go to the start all the way to race mile 420-ish, so right there off the highway on the San Felipe side. And pre-running went super. It was good. Due to school, I can only go on the weekends, so we were there the 2 weekends before, and then the 2 days before the race. So it made it a little interesting. Lot of miles on the road, getting to and from Mexico. No really big issues. Our car was super solid all week, and my dad did a good prep job on the pre-runner, so kept us going. Notes were super good. We had a super tricky section down south with the new forest area and some super tight VCPs. I think it was 30 feet was the radius. So getting good notes in and pre-running was super important. And yeah, we did a good job. No missed VCPs. So super happy with that.
That's awesome. That's pretty rare. You look at the list of penalties, and it's hard to find one that didn't get one.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's definitely getting into this race. It's been a struggle of ours, is really cleaning some of those little mistakes up, and those are the worst ones. You spend all the time and money and effort to get down there, and then just a few feet off cost you 10 minutes there. So
Yeah,
cleaning those up's big.
As our team found out. I have a quick question for you. So obviously Hager's the man. Like, I don't think anybody's in any class, in anything with four wheels, I don't think anybody's not going to say Hager's not the man. What's it like as a teammate and as a competitor? What's it like to hear that he had an issue in the first half? Like, what are you guys thinking?
Obviously we're thinking is, all right, we just got to get this car home at this point. I was second or third on time behind Brock for a little bit there, and first or second car on the road with our other teammate Max. And so finding out Brock had some issues, heartbreak for him. I love Brock. I co-drove with him 2 years ago. His first year when he won the championship, and so seeing him go out like that kind of sucked. They came back good though and got the championship. But really, it was just, all right, let's get this car to Caden. We know we have the best second leg out of anyone there with Caden there, and just get a car to him within somewhere close to the lead and let him do his thing. And it's exactly what we did.
Very cool. Did you have anything sketchy, worrisome in your stint?
We got a flat right off the start. Just pushing through some of the blind silt areas. A little hard starting behind the spec trucks. Just super hard to pass, and I don't think they like. It's hard to pass the roads. It's tight, and no one wants to get passed by UTV. So pushed a little too hard there, made a small mistake, and got a flat. Earned that one, and other than that, super clean and solid day.
Oh, that's very cool. It makes it easy. What'd you do after you hand off?
So we handed off the car, and we actually chased Caden all the way to back into Ensenada there. So I think I got an hour of sleep in the back of the chase truck.
Oh, you weren't studying?
No, not yet. Well, we got home and then started right back to homework, and had a couple exams this week. So it was straight from race mode back to school.
Yeah, I can imagine. Who was driving your chase truck? What was that was the talent level there?
It was pretty good. We had our my dad, our good friend Mike Emerson, and some good family friends of ours. Mike, Big Mark Pattonode. He's a big chase guy for us. And then my co-driver's dad, my co-driver's Carson Sandberg, and his dad Todd. And the four of them chased us all day in two trucks, and we chased most of Caden's side too. And yeah, long day.
That's very cool. Let me see. I had a couple questions for you. Were you at the finish?
I was. We made the finish, and I think we crossed the finish line at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and we were back on our way to stateside by 6:37. So
I was an hour behind you.
There we go. Yeah, it's a quick day. Sooner we get back, the better.
It was. I mean, I'd like to stay down there for 2 or 3 days afterward, but the crew that's been there for a week is ready to go, so I get it.
The rain didn't help there.
Yeah, we went, like I said, I don't know if you heard, but RJ took us for tacos at Valley T at like 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and no, it was a good way to finish. The only sleep I got was heading into the finish about, like I said, about probably an hour after you guys, and then we left our house at 8, and I was home by 11:30. So, pretty good trip. Like I said, I felt bad out there. Their clutching wasn't perfect, but Yeah, it was all pretty good. I mean, how many times have you done the 1,000?
This will have been second time driving, third year I've raced. So I co-drove with Brock back in 23, and then raced last year with Brandon Sims, and then this year with Caden.
Ah, very cool. And what do we have coming up for plans for 2026?
2026, it's still up in the air a little bit. I have a few more things to figure out, but for sure, we'll be running a few stuff in our car, no doubt. Hopefully, we can get out to
Stateside?
Parker. Yes, sir. We love doing Parker, so getting to do one of the Parker races, not too sure which one yet. In our own car will be fun, and we'll be in San Felipe. We love racing down to Mexico, and San Felipe is a fun one for us. Get mom and little brother down there and get a house and just spend a week down in Mexico on the beach. So can't beat that.
Gotcha. Who were your like mentors growing up?
Mentors growing up, it'd have to be really Brandon Sims was a big one. He's been helping me out a lot since I started racing, and then as I started progressing into desert racing, it's really a lot of my teammates that I have now. It's been Max Eddy was huge help to me. I started racing NA against him in 2022, and I've gotten to learn a lot from him. Brock Heger, I spent a year co-driving for him, and there's no doubt he's got plenty of success in desert racing. And then Caden and his dad Rob have been a huge help of mine, just learning how to pre-run and kind of getting the ropes in desert racing for sure have been my big mentors.
That's pretty awesome. And then obviously your dad's been instrumental. Like, he's been around a little while.
My dad's been around the block for sure. And so having someone like him and Mike Emerson have been huge in my corner. Mike's like another dad to me. And so having them two really working hard and putting their heart and soul into my program, really, it gets us up. It gets us places.
I gotcha. And what's your major at school?
I'm a bio major on a pre-dental track. So keeping busy over here, hunkered down some STEM classes, and we're making it work. Still finding time to get out to Baja and do what we love.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to keep you a little long. Cameron's running late.
No, you're good. No worries.
Should we see? We got some comments here. There's the people online. If you want to type in, we'll ask our Pro TVU winner some questions. Yeah. Reset Bing Bong Ronnie. So on there, we use Zello. Did you guys use Zello?
Yes, Zello was pretty cool. We started using that this year with the team, and I didn't even know about it before this. And it's incredible. You don't need, before you're all worried about VHF and the MSATs and nothing ever works. And we actually had VHF go out. And so having Zello, as long as that Starlink's running, having that communication really takes a lot of stress off of us and the chase crew, getting to have that safety net there and know we're going to be able to talk no matter what.
Yeah, so I heard it was the last year for Weatherman, and I'll be honest, I was very nostalgic. I can remember, like, I started going to Baja in 1988 or 89, and always as a spectator till the last couple of years. And we used to go, you'd camp and you have your scanners and you just leave it on Weatherman. You wake up, Weatherman's still on, and you're hearing, some good news, some bad news, some searching, some finding, all the information that Weatherman provided for, the last probably 40 something years. And so I was pretty sad to hear that this was the last time they were doing it, but I get it. It's the communications and Starlink and Starstream. And we could ride along with our car. I'm sure Adam and those guys were doing it for you guys too, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I think the introduction of Starstream and the Starlink's really been a game changer. We were talking about it pre-running a couple times. Just used to go down to Mexico, or not me, but like my dad and some of our teammates, you go down and you're not really getting any communication once you're out of VHF range. And now I can be on the other side of the peninsula and still be able to talk to our chase crew back in Ensenada. It's pretty incredible. It's a bummer to hear about weather, man. It's something synonymous with Baja racing. You think of Baja and you think of any type of communication, you think of Weatherman is the first thing that pops up in your head. And so lose that's it's a bummer, but I get it. Times are changing and on to new and better, right?
Well, and if you ever see what it took to set that up, you're like, oh, I would do it once and that that would be it. Like, there's no way. Some of that stuff, And I remember, freezing weather, and he'd reported, blowing 80 miles an hour and sleet and just, but talk about dedicated to the sport, right?
For sure. Doing it for the love of the sport, no doubt.
No, very cool. Very cool. How's your brother doing?
He's doing good. He's playing flag football now. He's taking up football, and he's doing his own. He's doing some circle track stuff out in go-karts. So he's taking up racing, and yeah, something new for us, completely different from off-road. And
does he let you coach him?
Me and my dad. I try to. I don't really know what I'm talking about, and there's only left turns there, so I'm only can do so much. But we try and we have fun with it, and it's good to kind of get back to some grassroots stuff, especially with, we grow up when I started in some dirt series and some entry level stuff, and now we're getting to races like Score and Best in the Desert, where it's you put a lot of time and money and effort into it. And as much as we try to enjoy it, there's definitely a level of seriousness and professionalism that comes along with it, and you really have to focus up. So it's nice to kind of see Jacob get to enjoy it, just enjoy the moment and not really be not feel too much pressure and just go have fun.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
That's cool. What's your goals for off-road? Do you want to be a trophy truck driver? I know you're pretty happy where you're at, but is there aspirations of doing more?
Goals for off-road racing, no doubt, it would be just to get a seat somewhere, and getting to Dakar would be super cool. Trophy trucks would be awesome, but I think a big thing for us is just school. For me, no doubt, getting through school is my number one priority right now. And I know racing, I'll always be able to come back to racing and do that. So get through school first, and then if the opportunity arises to make something out of off-road racing, it'd be incredible and a big opportunity. But for now, we're pretty happy where we're at, and just keep clicking away, get some wins, and continue to have fun with it.
That's pretty cool. If you could pick one guy to ride along with, who would it be?
I think the easy answer for would be your side-by-side driver would be Brock Egger, but I've been blessed to have that opportunity already, and what an experience that is. But I think I'd have to go in a trophy truck. Probably Christopher Pulvardi would be a good one. I think he's the guy kind of coming up right now, and I think someone that's really going to start contending. I think with the 1,000 win this year, it'd be cool to see what he's able to put together in a full year next year. And I think he'd be a super cool ride along for sure.
Yeah. And then if you had to drive someone, who's the co-driver you want? And you can't be their current guy.
It'd have to be my dad.
Yeah?
Oh my gosh, I can't drag. I've never been able to drag him into the passenger seat. I've gotten Mike, gotten my mom, gotten the girlfriend, gotten my little brother in the right seat, but never been able to get dad in the right seat. So I think it'd be fun to go give him a scare for a little bit around the desert.
That's too funny. I'll sign you guys up for hammers.
There we go. That's a fun one.
Hey, so I don't know. Do you know Cameron?
Cameron Steele?
Yeah.
Yes, met him a couple times.
The one and only. I'm going to bring him in.
Perfect.
He's right here.
Hey, Ethan.
Hey, Cameron. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. How much fun was that?
Oh, it's a great time. And anytime we get down to Baja, it's a great time. And we can get a win out of it. A first Baja 1,000 win is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I totally understand. I can remember my first win, and yeah, what a great deal. Congratulations to you guys. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Cam. You're looking pretty dapper for a guy who just got back from Mexico for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I came home and I shaved and cut my hair, and yeah, feeling pretty put together. Only took me 5 days to get my act together.
It's all right. Back in the day when you're Ethan's, look at this guy. He's in his dorm room.
Yeah. He's naturally pretty. I got to work at it.
Yeah. When was the last time you were in a dorm room?
Naturally handsome, I should say.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Ethan, time to go back to studying.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Keep us. Oh, by the way, so Cam, when Ethan was little, he would send me his report card details.
No way.
And guess what? There was only one letter on all of them.
A's across the board.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to borrow this for me. I'm going to take this.
We're trying out here. We're still trying.
I have never achieved straight A's. I did get my best grades my first semester of senior year at high school.
Yeah.
There you go.
Back when we took like underwater basket weaving and teacher assistant.
Surf class was a part of the mix.
Oh. Ethan, did you know Cameron was a professional bodyboarder?
I did not know that.
See, I've got all the facts here. Let me know.
Yes,
Oh,
I rode waves for a living when I was younger, riding on my bodyboard. It was epic. Great times.
Cool.
Traveled around beach to beach, probably 18 different events a year, riding waves, mostly like endless summer. Everywhere we went, the weather was warm for the most part. We didn't have competitions in the cold.
I wouldn't want to be in the water in the cold either. How'd you make that transition from water sports to off-road?
I grew up in San Clemente, so I live in a beach town, but I was already racing off-road when I started navigating for my dad when I was 12. So I didn't turn pro as a bodyboarder until I was, I think, 16 or 17. So both were going on the whole time. All the other sports that I did, the off-road racing was still kind of underneath. For a lot of people, they may have missed that I was an off-road racer because my mom got sick with cancer and we stopped racing, I think, in 93, and I didn't race again until 2001. So there's a big group of people that didn't realize that I had been there earlier in the early years too. So, but yeah, I've been doing it my whole life, riding waves and racing cars.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Hey,
good
Cam,
time.
ask Ethan where he's at school.
Oh, what school are you at?
I'm up in Malibu at Pepperdine, so great
Yeah.
place to catch waves.
Yeah. Do you surf?
I don't. I've been trying to learn. I've been here for a year and a half and have yet to learn. So I need to add that to the to-do list. Get out of the dorm and get some surfing in.
It's a little crowded over there, but surfing in Malibu is a lot of fun. The down, like kind of by the pier there, it's a little softer and a little easier. And I would characterize Malibu as a pretty basic overall wave, like when it comes to professional sports, but it still has its challenges. But down there, closer, kind of like maybe 2/3 of the way down the point towards the pier, it's a little bit more of a running right. Pretty easy wave surf. I surf contests there actually through the 80s and 90s. Great wave. I never really scored it in all its glory, unfortunately.
Very cool. I wouldn't call it easy. I don't have the best balance over here. So big four-wheel guys. There's a reason I'm not on two.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Well, it's one of the few sports that I can think of where the surface is also moving. So it's something to think about. It's definitely a complicated sport.
Very cool. Thank you.
Well, Ethan, thanks for joining us. Congrats on your big win. And happy holidays to you and yours. Say hi to mom and dad for me.
Will do. Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Give your dad a wet willy for me.
Will do. I'll let him know it's from Cameron.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Later.
Hey, Chris,
What's
how
up?
are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Superstar? It's our annual review party here.
I noticed I only get the call during the Baja 1000, so I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm doing good. It's been a long 30 days. I was just gonna do a post about it maybe tomorrow, but we ran the Rip to Cabo, and we hosted the television show and all that. Then did all the pre-running, and then raced the Baja 1000 all in a pretty small window. I think it was like 34 days. So the Rip to Cabo's 20th anniversary was a huge undertaking for us, and it was a lot of fun. But it definitely put a lot of pressure on the team and the crew. A number of the guys did double duty; they did both events. So we spent a lot of the last 40 days in Mexico, which is beautiful and cool. But it's a lot. It's a lot, especially for the families and the kids and the dogs that miss us and stuff like that.
For sure. Of the guys that rode Rip to Cabo, did you have anybody that also raced in the 1,000?
Yes, Travis Pecoy rode the Rip to Cabo and raced the Baja 1000 in the Spec Trophy truck, and his dad, who didn't drive at the 1,000, was on the trip. I think it was his dad's 16th Rip to Cabo. Is Travis's third. I think also. I was trying to think. There's a couple other guys. There's other Rip to Cabo alum that raced. Michael Lang won the Class 30 with Shane Shorno. They've both been on Rip to Cabo, and Kevin Ward rode on a 60 team. I don't think they finished though. So yeah, some of the boys were out there getting after it.
And how big's your crew for Rip to Cabo, and how big's your crew for the 1,000?
Rip to Cabo is 34 riders, eight media. I think we had 9 chase crew. We had 7 trucks, a helicopter, and 4 trailers for Rip to Cabo.
Oh my gosh.
So that's quite a big group. And a catering truck that joined us from Beef, Justin Lofton and Randy Ruane's company. They did 4 of our days for catering. So that's actually another truck and a couple more people. On the Baja 1000, we had 2 pre-run crews. So my group was 5 and Dave's was 5 as well. During the race, we had 3 unique pit crews of about 10 to 12 people. And then we had, I'm going to say 9 mobile trucks on top of the pit crews. So I'm gonna get, this was one of our smaller Baja 1000s. I'm gonna say somewhere right around 60 people for the 1,000, maybe just a little over. I haven't done my debrief after the race for the like the accounting side of it all. So I haven't got all the releases. I haven't counted all the people, but I can tell you they're all back in the U.S. now. That I can tell you.
Yeah, everybody made it back safe and sound.
Yeah, from the Baja 1000. Some of our Rip to Cabo crew actually is from Mexico.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
works. That's probably very helpful.
It is. We have some really passionate people. We would have had them at the Baja 1000, but they were helping other people. Like Arturo Davila was helping the Picoys, and a couple of other guys. Junior was helping someone else. So it's all good. We had a good crew. We're happy with the pits were perfect. The crew was perfect at the 1,000. Just some unscheduled stopping. We lost a belt right at the end of the race, which cost us the class win actually, and cost us maybe 6th overall by looking at the times. But really, really unfortunate. And it's crazy because we've been racing that truck for 6 years, I think. We've never had a belt come off that truck, testing or anything, as far as I can remember. And it was raining a little bit, but we weren't going very hard. And so I was like, oh, maybe mud got in there or something. We finally got pulled to the side out of the way. We were kind of in a bad spot, so we kind of had to drive it. It's the same exact spot where Polvardi was broken, I think, last year at the 1,000, pulled over at this little drop away, and we had to get out of there. And I didn't think it was the belt at first. I thought something in the steering field because the truck didn't get hot, which the belt runs a water pump too. So didn't get hot till right before we shut it off. Started getting hot. But when we took the hood off, Cody and I took the hood off, and some locals, there was one truck out there, and they helped us lightly sprinkling that pump area, the motor compartment, the belt itself was so clean you could have eaten Thanksgiving dinner off of it. Oh. The motor compartment was so clean, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. And to be honest with you, the belt looked perfect. Cody started scrambling to get another belt, and I'm like, put this one back on. Ran our hands all the way around it. One of the local guys tried to help me pull it on while Cody was trying to get tools, and we ended up just using a pry bar and pushing it back on there and ran it to the finish. Albeit we ran pretty mellow. It was only 5 miles from the finish.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like, I was like, what? So, yeah, it was a bummer. But, we had our pluses and minuses at the race. I thought we had a great truck setup. The truck was perfect. The team was perfect. We just had, it's hard. I got to the finish line and I was kind of disappointed, and I didn't want to convey that, I didn't want to be pissed, because we did at the time. We weren't sure if we won or got second. We were pretty sure we got second, and we were like 9th overall or whatever. And, a lot of people would really be stoked with that position. So I didn't want to be the guy crying about a finishing top 10 or whatever, but it's frustrating because I know we can win. And so that's what we go there for. I mean, if we didn't believe we could win, we wouldn't be there. And,
right.
You know, so our team put in the effort, and I felt like we let down the team a little bit by not bringing home the W.
Yeah, I was at the first pit. You guys had a little bit. I think you lost track position to one guy at the first stop. I forget what happened. It was either a ratchet broke, right?
Yeah, ratchet broke. We had a re-rack. The straps were all wrapped around the toolbox and something else. I didn't get to see it, but they had to get a knife. They had to cut some stuff. They had to get the new strap out. So, I mean, if we didn't have the re-rack, we wouldn't have lost a spot. And that's actually where Baldy went by us.
Yeah.
He ended up winning. And later I ended up getting a flat right in his dust. So just a cavalcade. So like what people got to understand, or what we understand, is never rush, be efficient. Never take any chances, be efficient. But always be thinking that every 15 seconds you lose could be the race. Yeah. And had in some of the math, had we not got any penalty, we would have lost the race by 37 seconds.
Oof.
And that you can find 37 seconds everywhere, right? And just really frustrating. The amount of penalty time and everything that we had was overmatched by our belt issue. So the belt was the biggest issue. And
how long was that? How long were you down there?
Just over 12 minutes.
With 5 miles to go.
Yeah.
It's okay to be upset, bud.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I really wish that I would have like done something really stupid. I wish I would have like drove it into a hole hard, or I wish I would have gone to full lock, or I wish I would have revved it real hard, and for like give me a catalyst for why the belt came off. You know, we drove through a little rut, but I mean, the things we did all day long, I mean, it's like that couldn't have thrown the belt off, but it did. So anyway, these things happen. I'm going to chalk it up to, oh crap, something happened.
Yeah. Just kind of like you've been to Indy, and they always say the speedway chooses the winner. Baja
always decides. She decides, man. I don't go in there. I don't think I'm racing anybody. I'm just asking Baja to give me good passage. You know, look at Baldy, who won the 2-wheel drive class. They never got out of the truck all day. The only time they got out was to change drivers. I mean, who is
their two guys? Who is their two? Sam and
Jake Johnson.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Jake's a hell of a driver. Sam's obviously a good driver too. He was doing great.
Sounds like he's improved quite a bit. What miles did you do? You did most of it?
I did the start to 284.
Yep.
And Dave Mason got in, and he went to 642 or 3. So, yeah, he did a pretty good amount. He did like 350 miles. So he did a good job. He did some good pre-running. His team did a great job. He brought a pit crew. They did a great job. Yeah, it was on point. You know, just these little things, right? Like the last pit, I'm there, and I'm like, we got to get out before I can see on the tracking that Olgus is like, 45 seconds, somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute and a half behind us. And I'm like, well, Sam went through like 11 minutes ago. We got to chase him down, but there's no way we're ever going to chase him down if another truck gets between us.
Yeah.
No matter what. And right when we were pulling out, Jordan Dean and Jack Olgus' truck went by, and we were cooked. I mean, we went through that last pit area, probably going 25, 35, 40 miles an hour at the most for those couple miles leaving the pit until we could see. So it's the small things, right? If you go back to not having to re-rack and not having the re-rack problem, and then are we 2 minutes ahead, and do we get out in front of Dean, right? If we don't re-rack, is Baldy ahead of us or behind us and following us up through all those rocks where we got a flat tire? I mean, it's like everything
adds up.
Everything adds up, and you gotta be good every single time, every moment of the day. Like you can't take a vacation corner. Like you can pick your speed, like you can pick your percentage of speed you're gonna go after it with, and we might have been a little conservative at times, but if you cannot take one corner off. Every corner has to be on, and you have to be on. And if you make a mistake, you got to let it go. It didn't ever happen. And so, it's just, like I said, a cavalcade of small things, nothing giant. The biggest thing is the belt came off.
Yeah.
But just a cavalcade of little things sent us back.
Let's reverse it a little bit. So it even starts in qualifying, right? Like, what's your thought on starting in qualifying order, not by class?
Well, a lot of people like it. I'm a fan of a lot of parts of it. Here's the problem that I have. I have a problem that's connected, and people may not like my view, but I think the spec trucks are just as fast, and maybe even faster at times on the qualifying when we have a short, slippery, tight qualifying. I just think that they're nimble and they're fast, but when we get on now we're qualifying on a course that's not representative to the Baja 1000, so to speak, in my opinion. There's a lot more sharp, tight turns. It's not an open race course. So I also agree that the spec truck guys that we're mixed in with are excellent drivers, and they are going fast. They are really great drivers. But since they've mixed us in, the specs and the two-wheel drives have been dropping back from all-wheel drives faster or more than we did when it was all-wheel drives, two-wheel drives, and specs behind us. So, yes, I think it's dangerous for them to be mixed in with the slow trophy trucks, but I also think that it's not good for the fast two-wheel drive trophy trucks with the big engines to be mixed with the slightly slower at pace spec trucks. Like, I'm saying that they're maybe 12% slower on fast cruising pace on the race course. So I believe that they're holding us up, but people say, well, just qualify faster. Okay. Yeah, we qualified faster the last time. We did better, but there's some degree of not wanting to kill your truck either before you go out and race. So we're going to have to make a decision on what we're going to do next year with qualifying or with racing, or what class we're going to race between the two-wheel drive and the four-wheel drive. And we'll have to pick what races we're going to go to also. You know, it's really hard because, and I'm not really complaining. I'm just saying there's just no passing. Unless you're willing to break through someone's dust, like, and really take a chance in those first 100 miles, there's really not a lot of passing. There's a couple different lines at like mile 75, but until mile 75, it's pretty much one line, dust bowl, and you're not getting by anybody. I don't care if they're 15% slower than you. You just can't. You're just not going to get by unless you go on full crazy. And are you going to do that in the first 80 miles of your 850-mile race?
Yeah. No, should we go back to qualifying at PRI in the Vegas short course?
I felt like that wasn't very representative of what we're doing either. It was at SEMA.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
But I give SCORE credit for getting us out there qualifying, and I give them credit for mixing it up. I give Jose G a ton of credit for his ideas and being willing to try stuff. My personal opinion is it's 75% better this way. So especially for the spec guys, because I totally agree that the fast spec guys don't need to be going through the class 1 cars, and they don't need to be going through the slow trophy trucks. But I do think there is an algorithm somewhere in there where you can get the faster classes up towards the front and make it so they can all race and then have the slower cars behind. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but I think there's a way to do it. But right now, everybody seems to think that the way it is the best way. So I'm in the minority, other than all the other faster two-wheel drive trophy trucks.
Right. And then are you liking the scoring of separate class a little bit?
Do I like it? I liked winning a couple races this year.
Yeah.
I wasn't a supporter of splitting the classes.
I know, that's why I asked.
Yeah, I was kind of like, nah, I don't really want to do that. So now that they've done it, it's benefit us by giving us trophies, but it's also not really it's just different, you know. It's not exactly the same. So we got to figure out what we're gonna do. There are things that we can do to be better in the equipment that we have. We could get a better driver, first of all. I do think there are some other changes that we can make, but they'd be pretty drastic changes, and I'm not sure that we want to do that, putting that effort into the two-wheel drive class, because really I kind of feel like Score, by mixing everybody together, that they're kind of saying that the two-wheel drive trucks, you know, they're not thinking about us as much as they used to, so to speak. But it's all whatever, you know, it's their race. They got to do what they got to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of next year, do you know what your plans are?
I don't. We haven't discussed it at all. I do know that I'm working on some new contracts. It seems like all the sponsors are happy. I'm working on some new deals also, which is pretty cool. I have reached out to a couple people about all-wheel drives. I really believe that we have a lot of competitiveness in this, and I think that we can be a player in the very front group. Well, I mean, not this year, but last year, San Felipe, we finished 3rd overall on time in our two-wheel drive. So, yeah. I mean, and we finished 5th overall this year at the 500. I really feel like the tip of our spear is good. We are really strong. And I feel like our team, our navigation, our driving, our pitting, our data, our race engineering with Mike Kraft at FIDAC and everything that we're doing is really on point. So I feel like I was thinking we could compete more with the two-wheel drive, but it's just becoming painfully obvious that those trucks are so fast. Those guys are really fast to drive them, first of all. The equipment's really good, and you can't really count on them braking, even though a couple trucks did have problems. They still finished the race. I mean, the truck that won had problems.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing stats. I didn't hear the rest of the show. I don't know who you've talked to, but it's pretty incredible what the ability of the trucks. And I've got to accept that if I want to race for the podium, I'm going to have to get an all-wheel drive.
Have you driven one yet?
I drove for Team C at 2019's Baja 1000. We teamed up. I drove the pre-runner for about 600 miles. The truck didn't get to me in the race, which again is part of what my thinking. Like, I feel like the confidence in it wasn't as strong, but now, I mean, look how good they are. I mean, they're incredible. And I sat and I watched them qualify a couple times recently, and it's just really incredible what they can do with the positioning of the trucks. Like at this qualifying this weekend, last weekend, we had to slow way down on off camber over 100 left into the chippy little road, and a lot of guys are blowing off of it, you know, especially in the two-wheel drives. And we creep through so slow and hugged the top and made it work. And I watched after I left. I was watching all the runs of the all-wheel drives. It's just incredible. It's just really incredible, really incredible what they can do. And they're great drivers, great equipment, and the trucks are just really good. So we need to get those front wheels turning if we can. If not, we'll go back and race the two-wheel drive again, race for the championship, and I think race for top 5 overall as well. We've been very fortunate with great sponsors and partners, and we're blessed to have the opportunities that we do. And we've had some great runs. I mean, this year alone, we had 4 podiums. 3 in the two-wheel drive trophy truck class, 2 wins with San Felipe and the 500. And like I said, the 500, we were 4th overall, 2nd place in the Baja 1000. And then we did get a podium at the EMC race at King of the Hammers, which was pretty cool too, since we've been working at that for quite some time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I'm going to give you a hint. You can tell me who's coming up next. He's also an all-wheel drive driver. He will be at Hammers. He's your good friend. He's trying to think. He doesn't surf.
Christopher Polvardi.
No. Phil, Factory Phil.
Oh, Phil, my buddy, my teammate. Sometimes, yeah, we're Monster teammates and Can-Am teammates, Fox teammates. IBOC also. We Baja Designs. We got a lot of similarities with our programs, and we get to pre-run together a little bit and have fun.
Yep. So
And
I know.
Sparko. Oh, we were with Sparko with all of us too.
Mm-hmm. You sure were. Sorry.
But yeah,
yeah.
no, it's been a lot of fun with Phil, and I'm really stoked to see him win the 1,000 again. I mean, is that the third time, Phil, you won the 1,000? The fourth time, something? I don't know.
Yeah, three Baja 1000 wins for us.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 out of 4. Is that right?
3 out of 5. We have a second, a third, and 3 wins.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
That's
I
not
should have
that's
him.
not
I
that
should have
bad.
him drive the trophy truck.
That's an idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
I drove the spec truck the one day for a minute, remember?
Yeah, we had a good time. We pre-ran in the spec truck. It was a lot of fun. It was good stuff. We got to get back to doing more of that. But we had a great pre-run this year at the 1,000 together and had some fun. We hung out with Michael McFadden also, a good young kid coming up in the class. Another Can-Am driver, Yokohama teammate of mine.
That dude was on fire.
Yeah,
Like he started one spot in front of RJ, and he was. I mean, he got up on the road real fast. I know they either rolled or broke something, but they ended up finishing down below. But on pure speed at the first half of the race, nobody was faster. Like he was ripping.
he's definitely quick.
I kept getting time splits, and he was leading for a while there, it seemed like.
Yeah.
You passed him while he's upside down or on his side, Phil? Was that you and me talking about that?
Yeah, I gave him a little wave as I went by. Sadie was outside flashing everybody to go to the side. Move that way.
Yeah, the Baja 1000, she gives and she takes.
She took. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you're going to kick me off the show because you got a big superstar like Phil here, but I just want to say thank you to our team, the Desert Assassins, to Monster and Raceline and FIDAC and Yokohama and everybody that makes it possible, Fox. Just so stoked to have the opportunity, and I just thank God for keeping us all safe out there. Just a blessing, and I've been trying to find my footing a little bit with where I'm going, but I'm planning on being around for a couple more years, so you guys are kind of stuck with me at this point.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, have fun.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk soon.
Hey, take off, you hosers.
Later.
See ya.
Bye. What's up, Phil?
Still at the shop, getting ready for hammers now.
Oh man, is it that time of year already?
It's crazy. It's always Baja 1000, and then it's like right into hammers. There's every year I'm like, I'm going to finish my hammers car before I go to the 1,000, and that's pretty standard. I'm just starting it right now. So,
all right, here I have a sound effects for when I announce that you're the winner, and this is what happens. So, there you go, little applause. Man, I didn't know you won 3 out of 5.
yeah.
And you did you do all? Normally, you do all planning, all logistics. You put air in the tires. You do everything. Same thing this year.
Yeah, always. That's my comfort zone. I gotta plan the whole thing out. I need to know right where everybody's at. I need to know what hotel rooms they're in. Like I'm a control freak when it comes to that.
How many guys you have on your crew?
We kind of slimmed down a little bit, but what did we have this race? About 14 of us, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we had 12. I don't think you can do it with less than that. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, 4 trucks. I mean, we had 3 like legit chase trucks, and then a Raptor that kind of bounced and went out the access roads.
Very cool. Pretty smooth sailing. Pretty good race. It was you and Caden were going at it.
Yeah, Wells. Yeah, no, everything was good. I started the race. I drove to 550, like at Morelia Junction there. And then once I saw the rain in the forecast, I decided I'd let Vito get in and let him stay until the finish. All the years in the past, I've always done 2 sections. I'll always do the start, and then I'll get out in the middle and get back in. And this year I was like, I'm just going to drive a little bit further, and then I'll give it to Vito and let him have the rain on the way in.
Nice. You guys finished like 5th or 6th overall, right? UTV.
Yeah, I think 6 overall. We got a 41 minutes in penalties, so that was a first for me.
Wow.
I've never missed a VCP in all my years racing down there, and somehow this race I missed 2 of them. And I went back on my data logger and looked it up. There was I don't know if you saw typical VCP is 120 feet, and then they have the letter VCPs, that are 40 feet. And then they had some letter number VCPs this race that were 30 feet. And I was 6 feet off of them. So I missed them by 6 feet and got 20 minutes in penalties for the VCPs.
Oh my God. And what was the other 21 minutes?
That one I earned for sure. That was a speeding penalty.
Okay.
It's crazy. We have the Starlink on the car now. We have such good communication, that we were getting all these time splits from the pit crew. And I was like, I think Jeff, my co-driver, was kind of focused on that. And it was coming over the radio, and I missed the speed zone. And I did like 80 into a 37-mile-an-hour speed zone. And so there was like, as soon as I did it, I knew. I was like, oh man, we're getting a penalty for that one.
Oh, that's funny.
Even the Stella guys, like at the end of the race, Jeff always goes in the motorhome for the Stella guys that record it, and he checks to see if we have any penalties. And the Stella guy just like laughed at him. He's like, "You're not getting out of this one."
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, but it's all good. We ended up, and so in our class, we had a big enough time gap on second that we were still able to keep first.
Oh, yeah. So, but a pretty smooth race besides that.
Yeah, for sure. And we've been working with Fox a bunch we put the whole live valve system on the race car. So that was new. So that was like a learning curve throughout the whole week pre-running. I put it on our pre-runner too. So I brought down like a backup race car and pre-ran in that the whole time. It's cool. Like that technology is definitely the future for us I think that's what's going to help us gain some more speed in this field. But yeah, I mean, standard Baja 1000 stuff. The forced induction class starts a ways back there. And then I had a mechanical failure at the 400. So I DNF'd the 400. So we started like towards the back of the forced induction class. So typical like European going out, there was some crazy bottlenecks and had to do some maneuvers to get around. But I don't think I've been in the Baja 1000 and not been in that situation before.
Oh yeah, it's just always, yeah. It hasn't been a great year for you, right? Like have you had a couple of
It's been ups and downs for me.
What's it been? Talk about your year.
I guess, I mean, you could start back at Hammers, right? It's like Hammers were like second on the road in the rock race and like right up there on corrected time. And 4 miles from the finish, I ran out of fuel. So that was kind of a heartbreaker because that was like our first Hammers rock race where we were like really up in the hunt for the overall win.
Yeah.
And it came down to like a fuel cell design. It was a fuel cell I have always ran, but I changed it to run like a double redhead to run it off of a tower.
Okay.
And it just like the baffle in there, it just false filled. So like we thought the car was full. It wasn't like a miscalculation. It was legit. The car just got shorted 3 gallons at the fuel stop.
Oh man.
Yeah. So all in all, that was like a super good race until 3 miles from the finish.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. Then we went San Felipe. We won San Felipe in our class, and we were, what were we? 3rd overall UTV at San Felipe. So that was a good race for us. And then, the 500, I ended up getting pneumonia down in Mexico.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I like raced morning. I woke up and turned around and left, went home, didn't race. We came back from that. I got better. We went and did a bunch of testing. We raced that Legacy 1000. So I think it was like the longest off-road race in America.
Mm-hmm.
We won that. Kyle Cheney came out and raced the second half with me in that one. So that was fun. And then, Vegas to Reno, a DNF there, 400 a DNF, and then now 1,000 win. So it's been like, we've either been on the top or the bottom.
It's crazy. Yeah. So you're right. Hot and cold, hit and miss. Yeah. But ends up taking the win at the 1,000. And that's got to be a great way to end the year.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely, this is always contract time, right? To renegotiate all your deals. So it's always better to come off with a big win at the end of the year for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think next year we're probably going to focus a little bit more back on the US series with like the Martelli Best in the Desert joint deal going on there.
Yep.
So that'll be fun. We'll go back and race Parker. So that's going to be here quick, even before Hammers.
I know.
Yeah,
man, I really wish, and I might be in the minority here, but I sure wish Hammers was the opening race for everything.
Yeah,
I do.
Parker, it wasn't bad. Like when Best in the Desert was doing a UTV only race at Parker, right? Because we'd race like the first week of January, and then we'd have like 3 weeks till Hammers. But now that they race the trucks and the UTVs at the same time, it's like they've bumped that race back to the end of January. So now, like, we went over the schedule the other day, and we're going to race Parker and bring an extra car, and then we're going to go straight from Parker right to Hammers because we're 12 hours from Parker. It's too far for us to drive home to turn around and go right back there.
That makes sense. Yeah. So you're gonna be gone for a while.
Yeah, so that's a 3-week deal.
Yeah. So we just got done with Cameron, who spent like 40 days in Baja for Rip to Cabo, or then something else, then pre-running, and then 1,000. So yeah, you guys are off-road life, baby.
I did one time with Cameron. We went down. We did that. We did his trail emissions in the UTVs.
Yep.
And then there was the Baja 500. There was like a week in between, and I was like, oh, I'll just stay down here the whole time. I did 28 days straight in Mexico. That was enough for me for one trip.
You speak Spanish?
No. I'm lucky if I can order some food, but I've been down there enough now. I can navigate my way and I can get what I need out of it.
Oh, dude. Well, if you can figure out how to get across the border in the correct line, you're doing better than me. Like they don't make it easy. Where did you cross the border?
Right in TJ there at the San Ysidro there.
Yeah. Did you get in the right lane?
I think so. I didn't get hassled too bad this time, so I've had all sorts of different experiences crossing the border. This one was seems like it's been pretty smooth lately.
Okay. You must have gotten your pattern down. We took how it circles around on those roundabouts and turnarounds and bridges and stuff. Well, we ended up in the Century lane and without Century passes. And they weren't super stoked, but they were like, it's a Saturday. People don't know what they're doing. If you do it again, there's a huge violation. Okay.
Did they put you in secondary?
No, they just cruised us through, and we were in a utility truck too. So I couldn't believe it. Last year at Tecate, we got in the wrong lane, and they made us double back against traffic and pretty much booted us out of the area. So that was this year was about 20 minutes crossing the border because we went straight after Ronnie finished, and last year I think it was at least 6 hours of in the truck time, whether it was at the border or driving around the border.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got lucky. We left Ensenada Sunday morning at like 4 a.m. and got to the border, say 5:30 or a little bit before 6, and it was like 15 minutes we were across.
That's cool. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I've done that Century lane on accident before, and they put me in secondary, and they never inspected me, nothing. It was like they legit put me in there for timeout for like 45 minutes, and then said, "Okay, you can go now."
I would take that every time.
Yeah.
I mean, just park me, pat me down, send me on my way. I'm good.
Yeah.
I would rather do that than like when you're sitting at the, in the normal lanes and they're like trying to sell you a 4-week-old puppy that's not healthy. And I'm like,
everything's 90% off today.
Yeah, 90% off. I was cracking up. I'm like, we got to get acrylic Winnie the Poohs or something just to get something. But one time this kid worked us over pretty hard, and I was like, I don't want anything, bro. And he's like, hey man, can I grab a water? And I'm all, sure. Dude, I said yeah, and my cooler was empty by like 40 guys in a minute and a half. It was like a piranha feeding. It was just and gone. And I was like, I was with a buddy. We're just cracking up like, okay, next time we'll lock it.
Yeah.
Lock it, tie it down.
Yeah, I think one time I had a buddy when I was with him, and he has the Century Pass. And I was like, I'll just ride with you, and I'll just hop out at the border, and I'll go in the walking lane, and I'll walk across the border and meet you on the other side. And that was a pretty unique experience.
Yeah. We actually thought about doing that if it was like an hour long, but what's the difference? You get picked up at the same time.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You mentioned hammers. You guys going to test before the end of the year?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We'll be testing. Well, we're probably going testing next week.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, just so you know, it's I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining on my roof, and we're relatively close to Johnson Valley. Hopefully the lake bed is not an actual lake when you get there.
yeah. It's been raining up here. I'm obviously Northern California, but it's been raining all day consistently here. Yeah, we just got a couple of the new Can-Am came out with their like RC car that just came out. So it's their rock crawler version. So it's kind of like it's the 2-seater really with the 4-seat transmission in it. So it's got a lot lower gear ratio for the rocks for us this year. So we got some of those showed up while we were gone at the 1,000. So take a brand new one of those down there and go scratch it all up in the rocks.
You got some new toys.
Yeah. Hammers is fun.
I know you love it.
That's the one race. It's like we get everybody there, everybody from short course and East Coast, West Coast. It's awesome.
I know. I tried telling. So last year I brought a buddy who races sports cars, and he's from Florida. Like they don't have rock crawling in Florida, I don't think.
Yeah.
But he's like, so what's this deal? And I'm just like, this is a celebration of everything off road, rock crawling. Like, except for, and it can be at times, the mud wamping like they have in the South. But dude, this is everything. The desert, super fast, super slow, super technical, and then obviously everything that's going around in every, Chocolate Thunder at night and all the social stuff, the parties at Yokohama and Optima. It is so much fun. You're right. I agree. If you haven't been, you should. And obviously it's a good time for the factory Can-Am versus factory players and who's going to win what classes, and it should be really good this year. You mentioned that you're going to do more of the US races next year. Is that no score or just a couple? Going to win the Mint?
Yeah. The Mint's the one Mint. I've never won the Mint before. I think I've got second there twice. That's the one race I've never won.
Is this the year?
Yeah, and I've skipped it the last couple of years, but so we'll for sure be at the Mint this year. I think Can-Am will make a pretty good push there and bring a handful of drivers out there.
Cool.
I don't know what score is going to have for me right now. I don't have plans to go race down there, but I love racing down there. So I'm sure some way or another, knowing me, that I'll figure out a way to get back down there and race at least a couple races next year.
Yep.
But the plan right now is to focus on this new series here, and which I think will be good. The series, I feel like in the US, it's a whole crazy conversation we could go into, but obviously, it's been pretty like spread out and everybody kind of hopping around and racing different races. So I'm hoping that this will kind of join and get like those, 60 car UTV fields back together again.
That would be cool. Yeah. I mean, there's some guys that have been missing that we would like to get them back, and also just getting all the big dogs together. I mean, I know you chase an overall win. Do you think you could race for an overall if you didn't have to start 18th in the FI class?
Yeah, I think it's for sure if we go back to Mexico next year. In the US, it's just pro UTV now, so we're all joined in one class, which is cool. But I've always had mixed feelings, right? In Mexico, like sometimes, maybe it plays to my advantage to start in forced induction because I'm not right behind the spec trucks. But this Baja 1000 was for sure an eye opener that I should have probably just signed up in the open class if I wanted to go for an overall.
Yeah.
It was, we were back there in forced induction, and then we have class 10 cars in between us. And it's like, by the time I get through the forced induction cars and then work my way through the 10 cars and then the back of the open cars, it's like the field's already, it's spreading out pretty good. So
I gotcha.
But it's so hard. It's situational, right? There could be a bottleneck for them. There could be a bottleneck for us. You can't predict it.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, I know, you're not the only one that when we talk about UTV racing, a lot of you guys would really appreciate it. Overall win. Class wins are great. Overalls are what you chase because then you're the biggest dog of the big dogs. And
for sure.
And I get it. It's cool. All right. I'm going to wrap up, but check this out. What would you think about me doing a giveaway? If for the people that get to this far in the night, if you I say we in the comments for the Racers Place podcast, put a timestamp and what else? Who is your favorite guest? I will send a t-shirt. That sounds fair, right?
Yeah. Seems like a
that-
good deal.
I think that's a great deal. 2 hours of me. That's a lot. It's too much for me.
Somebody deserves something for that.
Yeah, for sure. And if you run into Phil at Hammers, he'll give you a monster.
Yeah, for sure. Come
For
by.
sure.
We got all sorts of monsters.
You just have to say, I saw you on the Racers Place and you said you'd give me a monster. So anyway, well, have a happy Thanksgiving. If I don't see you in Johnson Valley, because I might be out there testing too. I got stuff going on.
Perfect.
It'd be awesome. But no, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on the win and a great way to end the year, and have a safe, fast, fun test. And I'll talk to you before too long, I'm sure.
Yep. Right on. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, bud.
See ya.
All right. Later. All right. So that will do it. 2 hours of talking about Baja. I love it. You can tell each one of those guys love it for their own reasons. And like I said, timestamp, tell me who your favorite driver interview was, and I'll send you a t-shirt. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you soon.